Alright, so I'm at Walmart and I got to get an oil filter and some oil for my 2009 Dodge Avenger V6 2.7 liter. So, found this book, looked it up by year under Dodge, found 2009 V6 2.7 liter, and I want to get the Mopar one. So I found Mopar, and I come on down, and it's the MO899. And we'll go over here, MO899. It's a good price, $667. That's what the driver's manual called for. This is that new synthetic oil that you change once a year, right up here, or every 20,000 miles, like it says. Also, it costs right at $40. Or you could get the 15,000 mile oil, the same oil, just 5,000 miles less for $10 cheaper. I have a 2009 Dodge Avenger SXT. I'm gonna change the oil on it. You gotta, safety first. You chalky wheel. I know it's dirty in here, but oh well. Make sure emergency brake is up and it is in park. Key out of the ignition. Okay, under the hood we have the 2.7 liter 24 valve V6 engine. And there's our oil cap, and it says engine oil SAE 5W20. And as you seen earlier, why I chose the Mobile One 5W20 15,000 mile instead of the 20,000 mile oil. And I got 5 quarts there and an extra quart there, because it says in the manual it takes 5.5 quarts. Always to have a little more, better be safe than sorry. Got my Mopar filter, and for those of you that need to know, that's a MO899. And I've got my Fram Extra Guard heavy duty air filter, CA9054. You'll need a 13 millimeter. I've got that with my Stanley ratchet. Got my tarp laid out. Now I got to put my oil pan under there. Okay, just so you know, I've got $6 here. This was $7. The oil filter removal tool, $3. $28 for the 5 quart. And that extra quart really hurts, man. That was like $9 for that extra quart of oil. I got all this for about 50 bucks. I don't know what it costs to have the oil changed anywhere, but I'm pretty sure they don't use the high quality stuff. You get generic stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but 50 bucks to do it yourself, I don't think it's too bad. One thing I found different on the Dodge Avenger was the location of the oil filter. Now most of the time you can see it from the top, but as you can see, where in the heck is the oil filter? Well, I found it. I'm gonna save you the trouble if you're looking for it. Okay, I'm going under the passenger side of the car right now. And going straight back past the oil pan. There's the oil pan. And right here in that curve area, you'll see the oil filter right there. It's the first time I've ever seen an oil filter in that position. I'm getting too old for this. Alright, there we are. I got my 13 millimeter socket with my ratchet, and I'm going to put it on this oil plug and take it out. First I'll position my pan, have it ready. That way I can slide it forward. It's not very roomy under here, but I'm a little guy, so I can make it work. righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Give you put your ratchet on there, make sure it's secure. You're going the right way. All right. Make sure, there you go, we're secure. And I like to give it a little tap at the bottom here to break it. There we go. That was real tight. Now I've had this car for a few months, so it's the first time I changed the oil. It's also best to let your car cool off. That way you don't burn yourself. I like to twist it out. Slide it back a little bit. Keep my finger on the end of the bolt as I turn it out. That way the oil don't gush out and I have time to move that pan. I don't want to drop it inside there. Alright. Come on out. Here we go. Alright, just slide my pan forward. And we'll let that drain out. There's my oil plug. I'm going to keep it, clean it off and keep it out of the dirt. And I almost forgot to mention, I got to go up top and remove the oil fill cap. Take it off where we saw on top of the engine. I'm going to remove it. That way the flow of oil will be continuous. There we go. Let that come on out. And then we'll get ready to move the filter as well. And wait till it all drains out. Okay, I've got my oil drained. Now I'm going to take that oil filter removal tool that I was talking about earlier, which is right here. This thing right here. And I'm going to put an extension into this with my ratchet, like so. And I'm going to put it straight up on the filter and I'm going to try to remove it. Just remember to go to the left.
You know my daddy had big muscles?
Make sure it's up on there good. There we go. And just turn her on out. Alright, there she comes. So I want to get my oil back over here and let that drain a little bit. I'm not going to take it all the way out, I'm just going to loosen it up. Let it drain. Alright. It's always nice to keep your little shop towel nearby. You'll need that. Alright. I'll do it a little bit more. Alright, just let it sit on top of that, let it drain, turn it upside down. I got a little catch plate up here at the top to hold that lets the oil drain through. Then once it drains, we'll pull it out. Alright, I done removed the oil pan, and now I got to put back in the oil plug. It's a very important part, believe it or not. I've done this one time. I changed the oil and I forgot to put the oil plug in. and all my new oil just ran right back out on the ground. Like I said, you want to make sure it's clean before you put it back in there, no dirt on it. It's not cross-threaded. Make sure it goes in smooth, it screws in smoothly. There we go. All right, ready to tighten her up. There you go, just nice and hand tight. That ought to be good enough. And then we'll come out and prime our oil filter, check it, and then install the oil filter. That wasn't that hard. We gotta check one thing on the oil filter before we continue. There's the oil filter, an old STP filter. You want to make sure that gasket right there, this black gasket right here, is still all on there. It's not broken or anything like that, because you don't want part of that to be on your engine block when you install your new filter, and it'll cause an oil leak. So you want to make sure that's still there, and we're good. Now it's time to prime our new oil filter. You do not want all your oil to leak out, because it'll turn you into a killer bear. Okay, we have our new Mopar oil filter. This is another good reason to buy the extra quart of oil right here, because you want to prime your oil filter. That's really simple. What you're doing is you want to put a little oil in here so you don't have a dry start when you start your engine, and you also want to take your fingers and oil the gasket up. Okay, here we go. Alright, now we're all oiled up. We're ready to install the oil filter. I'm going to add just a little bit more oil to the... I like to fill them up about halfway. That way I don't spill any oil when I'm installing it. Set this down. Wipe my hands. It's a dirty job, but somebody got to do it. Okay, you'll notice that while I install the oil filter, I will not use a filter tool, because you don't want to over tighten it. You just want it to be hand tight. Turn it to the left one turn, and turn it back to your right to screw it on. Do that so you don't cross thread it. There we go, just hand tight. That's all you want. And that's good enough. After you're done changing, you also want to go, when you're all done, got everything completed, and you start your car and you run it, you want to make sure you come up under here and look and make sure it ain't leaking. If it is, just tighten it a little bit more. Okay, you just want to come up here and put your 5 quarts in first. I put the big jug in, I'm going to pour it in, and then we'll come back and we'll check it with the dipstick and see how much further we got to go. Okay, I have the 5 quarts in. I'm going to pull the oil check stick. I'm going to pull it up, I'm going to clean it. Pull it up, hold it sideways. Clean it off really good, get all the stuff off of it. Then we're going to put it in. One thing you remember, make sure there's no debris or anything on your stick before you put it back in. And when you take it out, immediately hold it to its side. Okay. I don't know if you can see it. But we're right in the middle of the safe zone, the little checkerboarded zone. That's where we're at, which is great. That's where you want to be. So 5 quarts and about a half a quart in the oil filter seem to do the trick. All right, we're going to put the oil cap back on. Make sure it's locked. Clean up any little spill that you may have had. Then we're going to start the engine. Let it run for a minute and cut it off and come back and check the oil again. If it's in the safe, you're good. If it's not, add a little bit more to it until you get it into the safe. All right, we have it running. Sounds pretty good. Another thing you want to check for, after you check the oil, make sure it's still in the safe after you let it run for a minute. You want to check up underneath the car, make sure you have no leaks or anything like that. I would also suggest maybe the next day, if you drive your car somewhere and come back, check it again for leaks and check your oil again to make sure everything is where it should be. And also, we'll show you how to reset the check oil indicator on the console. Okay, right here it says the door is open, the trunk is open, and it also says change oil. All right, we're going to show you how to reset that change oil indicator. Okay, here we go. Now, after running my car, I did check my oil again, and I had to put in the other half a quart, which brought the total of 6 quarts for the oil change. Now I'm in the safe level, so I'm good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to reset this oil check light indicator that I showed you earlier. You want to put your key in the ignition, right? And you want to turn it to the on position, not ACC, but on. Do not start it. Put it in the on position. Mash the gas pedal fully all the way down and up 3 times within 10 seconds, and that should turn it off. Let's see. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And then we'll cut it back off. Close the door. And we'll start the car and see if it went off. There you have it. Reset my trip monitor. While I'm sitting here, put that back to 0. And we're good. It is off. It did come on, so it worked. So like I said, put it in ACC. I mean, not ACC, but put it in the on position. Mash the accelerator pedal 3 times fully. All the way up, back down, all the way up, back down, all the way up, back down, all the way up. Do that 3 times within 10 seconds, and that'll reset that indicator for you. All right, now I hope this tutorial helps everybody that's trying to change their oil in their Dodge Avenger, and hope it saves you some money. And if you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.